Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Tuesday the 19th of November. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and to share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The case of the two policemen charged with murder, among other offences in the fatal shooting of 3 men in East Kingston last week, was postponed to December 17, when it came up for mention in the gun court on Tuesday morning. The hearing was delayed because the court was told that the defense had yet to receive full disclosure of documents from the prosecution regarding their clients. The officers are being represented by attorneys Peter Champagny KC and Althea Grant. More than 990 murders have been recorded in the country since the start of the year. According to the latest police data, 995 murders were recorded up to Saturday, November 16. This is 249 fewer than the 1,244 cases recorded in the same period last year. St. James recorded the highest number of murders with 116, followed by St. Andrew South with 99. Portland recorded the lowest with 9. Meanwhile, rape and robbery incidents also decreased. Cases of rape declined by 114, while robberies went down by 136. However, break-ins went up by 2. The Department of Correctional Services has suspended visits to adult and juvenile correctional institutions across the island for the next 2 weeks. The move is expected to end on December 2. The DCS, however, says the food drop-off by family members scheduled for Wednesday, November 20, will proceed as planned per established guidelines. The suspension of visitation comes after the confirmation of the influenza A H1N1 virus at the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center and the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center. The DCS says the move, which is a precautionary measure, is necessary to prevent further spread of the virus and to safeguard the health and safety of inmates and staff within the facilities. The Correctional Services says it is closely monitoring the situation and is working with relevant ministries and agencies to manage and contain the spread of the virus. The DCS adds that further updates regarding the resumption of visits and any additional measures will be communicated as necessary. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says it is working with the public authorities to manage an outbreak of tuberculosis among inmates at the Hunts Bay lockup in St. Andrew South. 7 inmates at the lockup are receiving treatment for TB, while another 5 are undergoing treatment at hospital under 24-hour police guard. The JCF has sought to assure members of the public that all necessary measures are being implemented to contain the situation and ensure the safety of all involved. It says it has been managing a confirmed outbreak of tuberculosis among inmates at Hunts Bay since August of this year. According to the JCF, infected inmates are being immediately placed in isolation and medical professionals are engaged to lead the response. All JCF personnel who come into contact with the affected individuals were also isolated and provided with the required personal protective equipment. The St. Andrew South Divisional Management Team has been collaborating closely with the public health officer and the staff from the Southeast Regional Health Authority, the National Chest Hospital, and the relevant authorities at the St. Andrew Parish Court to manage and mitigate the spread of TB. As part of its precautionary measures, infected inmates are kept entirely separate from the general detainee population to prevent further spread of the illness. The police say there has been no transfer into or out of the Hunts Bay facility since the initial detection of TB cases. The police have also been engaging with the St. Andrew Parish Court to facilitate court appearances for affected inmates via secure online platforms such as Zoom to further limit the risk of exposure. The Outerious police are searching for clues into a case of suspected murder committed on Monday in Pyramid Heights, St. Anne. This after an elderly man was found dead at his home in the gated community. He has been identified as 72-year-old Alan Rattigan. Police reports say about 9 p.m., a caretaker for the property arrived at Mr. Rattigan's house. Upon entering the house, he stumbled upon the body of Mr. Rattigan, which was tied with pieces of clothing and electrical cord. The caretaker alerted the police. They are searching for a person of interest who was last seen visiting Mr. Rattigan in the community. The police have identified the suspect only as Omar. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation announced that corrective work on the Torrington Park housing scheme, where a staircase recently collapsed and injured an elderly woman, started today. The ministry rejected claims by the opposition leader and Member of Parliament for the area, Mark Golding, that it had been slow to address the infrastructure issues at the complex. Golding had criticized the government for failing to act on his warnings, but the ministry explained that it had made several efforts to initiate repairs, including a tender process that was initially delayed due to security concerns and an insufficient number of qualified bids. Following advice from the Public Procurement Commission, the ministry switched to a national competitive bidding process, which was approved on November 18 this year. The ministry also stated that while Golding had been briefed on the challenges, his suggestion to hire an individual contractor was not pursued due to a lack of qualifications. The ministry also stated that while Golding had been briefed on the challenges, his suggestion to hire an individual contractor was not pursued due to a lack of qualifications. In business, Jamaica has welcomed over 1 million cruise passengers this year, contributing more than $200 million to the local economy. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says cruise tourism has the highest level of convertibility of the dollar, providing immediate economic benefits to local vendors and the small business owners. He has praised the efforts of global cruise partners and urged them to continue their support for Jamaica's tourism industry. Meanwhile, Bartlett says Jamaica is positioning itself as a global leader in health and wellness tourism. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening, and see you next time.